All right. Welcome to another day in life. My name is Defi Mike. If you're watching the replay, let me know where you're tuning in from. I believe I have my V. Is currently trading right now at 63,000. People are in panic, so you're in the right place. We're going to go over a ton of different charts. Maybe we'll look at some stocks. But do yourself a favor and let me know in the chat where you're tuning in from and send this to a friend that might have some questions. So, got a DM a couple hours ago, and somebody asked me, they said, Mike, how are you so sure, the market is going to continue going up? And they're asking from a crypto perspective. We also have actually have an idea on Injective that's active right now. And they said, well, how are you so sure the market will continue to go up? And I told that person, I don't I want to pull this up here real quick. I don't know the future, right? We do our best, from a technical standpoint, from a fundamental standpoint, to not really predict, but to put together a list of probabilities, right? What is the probability that Bitcoin goes to zero? It's very, 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 very small. But what's the probability that this market continues to go up? We take a look right here at the snapshot of where Bitcoin was 4 years ago this week. What's up, California in the building? What's up, Chasen, Cali, New Zealand in the building? Amazing. Yeah, smash that like button, guys, down below. It kind of lets more people on YouTube know that this is the place to be. And we're talking crypto. We might talk a little bit about stocks, but in 7 days, the first half of this year is over. And in the summer, especially the summer season in the markets, it's not as exciting. It's not as fast as people want it to be. And I'm going to talk about that here in a second, the speed of the market. But you look at where we were 4 years ago. Somebody tell me in the chat, are we higher or lower? We're so much higher. So stop stressing, stop tripping out, stop getting so worried. In life, there's some things that people put on us and they're called expectations. And I spelled this wrong. And in the market does not care about what you want it to do. And I learned this because I wanted I wanted Euro USD to go up when I first started trading currencies. I wanted Bitcoin to go to the moon. I wanted Ripple to keep going past $4 back in the day. And don't have an expectation of price. Okay, as an investor, here's just something I'll give you here, is focus on value and speculation over price. Well, Mike, why would you say speculation? Because the reality is, and the truth is that speculative assets go up or down. Bitcoin was speculative for a very long time, even though it's been the same exact thing. And now there's so much real world proof and real world concept and real estate and banks and institutions, they're all buying. But at one point, it was speculative. Just like Solana was speculative, just like Ethereum at one point was speculative. But guess what? If you can find a speculative market or a speculative asset and put some money in it before other people, that's how you make money, right? In real estate, right? There were cities, right? The city that I live in right now, outside of Miami, guess what? At one point, this was just dirt. It was land. It was Everglades. It was lakes, and that was it. It was speculative to invest, but if you invested in this city 20 years ago and you bought two properties, you're worth multiple seven figures right now. The house that wherever you live right now, whether it's an apartment or it's a house, guess what? At one point, that was just dirt and land. And somebody said, hey, let's build here. And guess what? The people that bought early, somebody tell me in the chat, are they up or down? Are they in profits or out of profits? The people that got in early in your city where you live. they're in profits probably by a lot. Same thing in the markets, 4-year cycles, 2-year cycles. I also heard something the other day, and I'm going to get to some charts here and I'm going to answer some questions as well. But I heard somebody the other day said, well, Mike, it's like a 4-year cycle, right? It's like 3 years up, 1 year down. Well, who's not to say that that doesn't change? I'm not saying that it will right now, but you can't say, okay, for the next 3 years, we're just going to buy. And then for 1 year, we're not going to buy. And we're going to sell. And then 3 years after that, we're going to buy. And that's where people get trapped in trying to predict, trying to short Bitcoin at 50K, 55K, 60K, 65K, and then those people run out of money. People try to predict these things in the world all the time. Some people are predicting that there's going to be a war. Okay, some people are predicting that there's going to be a market crash. But put a 1 in the chat if you've heard people say there's going to be a market crash, and they've been saying that same thing. I remember hearing that when I was in high school 10 years ago. The market's going to crash. The market's going to crash. And what has the market done over the past 10 years? It's just continued to go up in all markets, stocks, real estate, and obviously, what we're focused here today is talking about the future is crypto. 4 years ago today, Ethereum was at $200. Today, it's trading at $3,400. So I don't really care about people's negative opinions. I don't really care what people saying on Twitter. The market pulling back is an incredible opportunity for you. It's an incredible opportunity for you to have a plan. And in your plan, there should be money set aside for major pullbacks in the market. Now, I can't tell you how much, and I'm not going to. But when we look at Bitcoin, let's get into this. When we look at Bitcoin, and some of my private students, we have been talking about this for a couple weeks now, where Bitcoin can easily, let's just go to the daily time frame. I'm on a free website here called tradingview.com. I encourage you to just make a free account, okay? And we had been talking about that in the market, there are what we call levels of liquidity or support or whatever you want to call it. I don't really care for this video, but liquidity. And what the market likes to do is the market likes to run or hunt or go for those levels where there is money, where the average person will say, hey, you know what? I think this would be a great level to buy off of. Why? Because it hit here once, it hit here twice, and then watch what happened on the next one. Boom. If you were trying to buy Bitcoin off of that level, and I would really send this out to a friend, guess what happened? Your stop loss was right there. And then here's what happens, okay? Their stop loss gets hit, which means they lose the trade. But then, the market starts to go in their direction. So they lost the first trade. You know what they do now? They get in the trade now, up here. This is how I traded my first year in trading, and it was why I was not profitable. Now, guess what they do? Oh my God, the market's going up. Now I'm going to take another buy position with the tighter stop loss. And then guess what? They get in. Market comes down. Let's say that's where their stop loss would have been because now they're getting in high. Market hits their stop loss again. And then it makes the actual real move that we're looking for. So the point is this. Okay, here's what I'm looking at for something like Bitcoin. This level has my interest, or it did. Huge push down. This created a low in the market. Now, I'm trying to teach here tonight. So whether this makes sense to you or not, we're going to talk about a bunch of different prices. But you may be saying, well, where are some of the levels or the zones that I could look to accumulate? And I'm not really accumulating more Bitcoin at these levels, to be honest. But we'll compare it to some other projects. Market creates that low. Then the market kind of just comes up here and just kind of, it leaves us a trail for eventually we should take this out. But for the time being, where do I think we can go? I would not be surprised if we pop back into this level. 50, let's just call it 58 to 60K. So what does that mean for you? It means you could buy now, you can wait, you can do whatever you want, right? That's the best part about being a trader or investor. But I really like this level down here for something like Bitcoin. Okay, we have this level of liquidity right here as well. And you can see here how this market has not, it's not a confident market. And you have to kind of be aware that the second the market did not break that high, we've just been trading to the downside. I mean, this has literally been perfectly executed too. It's pretty beautiful. But eventually that will get taken out. This liquidity, well, that was terrible. The liquidity to the upside. But for right now, this is where, in my opinion, what I'm doing here on Bitcoin is I'm being patient. But you also need to know, here's a rule. Know when to not be in the market. Cash is a position. Saving money is a position. You don't always need to be in a trade. Okay, if you're a trader or an investor, you should always be like looking to save money, put money set aside. But right now, Bitcoin's dropping. So you trying to just buy this, if we're talking leverage, so we'll talk about leverage and we'll talk about investing. If you're trying to just buy this on leverage, I mean, what confirmations do you have? I don't see any here for Bitcoin. I do see some for some other projects, but not for Bitcoin yet. Now, from an investing standpoint, this is down 12%. So if you were buying up here, is it a bad level to be buying Bitcoin again? If that's your game plan, then not really. It's fine. But I would personally like to see this level a little bit more, a little bit lower here, closer to that 60,000 number. We might just come right into like 60,500, but I'd like to see closer right here for Bitcoin. Now, what's up, Dustin? What's cool about the markets, especially in crypto, is not all the markets look like Bitcoin right now. There are other assets like Ethereum that look a little bit different. Now, I will tell you this, Ethereum is at a level that it's got to hold here. And really, it's got to hold where it's sitting at right now. If not, we will flush probably back down closer to 3,000. So I mean, even on the higher time frame, this is really not that confident for us to continue. And I know what some people are saying. Why can't this thing just go straight up? But let me show you something here real quick. I'm going to show it to you in the millennial conversation. Let's pull this up. Over here to the right, the cycle of market emotions. You have this take place in every single market. It actually happens in your life as well, where you're really optimistic about getting in shape. Then you're excited. Then you get to the gym. Then you start to see some results. And then you hit a plateau. And then you start getting scared. And then you become fearful. And then now you're angry. Now you quit the gym. Now you're depressed and you watch Netflix every single night for 5 hours a day. And you order Uber Eats 3 times a day. Oh, but guess what? Your credit card gets declined on your next Uber Eats order. So now guess what? You have to start cooking. So then guess what? You start to get results because you're not eating out every day. Now there's optimism. Now you're back in the gym. Now you're excited. It's that cycle. Well, in the markets, it's the same thing. People become optimistic and they get excited. If you bought Ethereum 2 months ago at 3,000, your money doubled. Almost doubled. If you bought down here, excuse me, I'm tired. Okay, we are at 37%. 37%. Almost 50%. Guess what? You saw gains. You saw results. Guess what? Market now is pulling back. And now, guess what? You're questioning yourself. You're questioning, should you be in the market? Now you're questioning if this is for you, right? Put a 1 in the chat and be honest if you've ever questioned, should you be a trader or an investor? And look, I'm going to be honest. On tonight's YouTube Live, I know there's people on here that texted me that you're not a trader. I think every single person should be an investor. Now, now you don't have to do this. I'm just telling you because you are already an investor of your time, whether it's at a job or a business that you're building. But I would be an investor in these markets. Now, I'm not telling you specifically to go buy anything right now, but I am telling you this. And I've been saying this for 7 years, and so far I've been right. So I'll continue to say this. 10 years. Let's zoom out. 10 years. Do we think these markets are going to be at a higher price than what they currently are today? I do. So if I believe in something and I'm willing to take a risk, I'm willing to take a risk when other people are scared. I was accumulating Solana when people were scared, 10, 20, 30, 40 bucks, right? Guess what? People are becoming the same emotion. This is what's so funny. The same emotion that happened here, more so here, is now kind of taking place right here. Same emotions with Solana. People getting scared, people panicking, people talking bad things about on Twitter. So it's funny because the price was at 25, 30 bucks. Here, the price is at 127. Don't get shaken out. Okay. The market, and if you're taking notes or writing things down, the market will try to shake you out. I put this on my Instagram the other day. I put, don't shake. Sounds stupid, but a lot of people are shaking right now asking, should I get out? Should I sell? Should I sell low? Should I take a small loss, small win? Do whatever you want. But I'm not shaking. I'm not shaking and worried because also you should not be investing money that you can't afford to lose. You might want to send this YouTube live, this video to somebody that needs to hear this. So we talked a little bit about ETH. We talked a little bit about Bitcoin. Well, where are you looking at to accumulate Solana again? Now, personally, my DCA is sub 50 bucks for sure, maybe lower. I haven't done the math, but I would tell you this: if Solana were to come back into this level here, I would be looking to accumulate again. For my personal portfolio, Solana is one of my top holdings, just a disclaimer. I'm not being paid to say that, okay? I was accumulating Solana back here. But if this thing were to pull back, I wouldn't wait specifically for, in this example, like an 80% retracement, because I don't think we're going to get that unless the whole market corrects. So at this point, we would have about a 50% retracement from the bottom to this previous high, around that. So I would be okay looking for something in here. It's a bigger zone for the portfolio side of things, not trading, for the portfolio, which means as an investor. And I've showed this chart so many times. I'm going to do it again here today. I haven't done it in about a couple months. But the chart to the left is Solana. Okay, the chart to the right is Ethereum. And you can see here, like, let's even go to let's even go down a time frame on ETH. So like chart to the left, like I'm not going through this. I have a video on here, but like here you have this low, this high, this low, this high. Then ETH kind of bottomed out, Solana bottomed out. Well, after ETH, now this is interesting though. Sol created this high, created this low. When ETH pushed back up, it literally never gave us that low. So it never like created a low and then came back. But after the blow off top, as it did go crazy, and it did give us a massive pullback. So the point is that these charts, they're not going to be the same because it's a different market than 2017. And I'm kind of tired of people saying, well, it went this high in this amount of time. Like nobody, that does not matter, really. It's a pattern. Patterns are meant to be broken. Okay. People that trade the same pattern every time, the patterns are being created, sure. But the patterns, you could see the pattern and it could be the same pattern on Google and you see it and I don't. You take the trade and you win, and I take the trade and I lose. Why? Risk management. Are we over leveraged? All these different factors. Where's your stop loss? All these different factors. So be aware of that. Okay. Be aware of, oh, this pattern is forming again. Oh, it's been this amount of time. Let me just buy it. you have a better shot at buying assets and buying and becoming an investor when the market is tanking, when the market is falling, when people are scared. So with that being said, I'm going to answer some questions in the chat. You guys can start asking them if you have some. Currently, Bitcoin's at 60,300. Now, look, Bitcoin can easily, on this like weekly, this weekly type of level, kind of just chill into this candle and, just kind of bounce. But the point is this. The point is that the market has been very choppy. The market has been going sideways to the downside. Now I do like this kind of pattern. I do like this level here to play off of. But what I'm personally looking at are some of the altcoins. So personally, I do have an open position here on Injective. I actually posted this on my Instagram. It's pretty much at the current price right here. I am looking for a bullish idea on this. I am looking for Injective to go higher. Why do you say that, Mike? Well, we did see a huge push down to 1880. Okay, Injective had, just a crazy run in the bear market. And this is what I believe we'll see so much more of in the next 4 to 5 years in crypto, where projects that have value, this thing was at, hold on, I got to pull up a different chart here. This thing was like at $1 in the bear market. And this thing just absolutely took off. Let's look at it on the Coinbase chart. Okay, can we get a chart that has some more data? Thank you, Binance. Okay. So like, for example here, bear market, 2022. This thing bottoms out. You can see here, I'm going to teach you something here tonight. Let's go to the 3-day time frame. Look at this spike in volume right here. Spike right here, but price is really not moving. Another spike here, pullback. All of this was accumulation for Injective. All of my students, we posted this in our list. So hopefully you paid attention. Okay, this was around $1 to $2. Let's turn that off now. Injective went and created its own cycle, created the lows. Smart money came in at the bottom. It took a long time, guys. This thing took 254 days, where it was just going back and forth between $1 and $2. And this is also a great chart for y'all to get some patience in your life. I'm going to delete everything on the chart. This is a great project as well. I'll be paying attention to, but get this. And then guess what? After it created that low, let's even go to like the 2-week here. After it created the low, look at speed. Okay, this is where time, like you trying to time the market, just does not matter. 210 days, this thing was up 500, 600%. Within about a year, a little bit over a year, it was up 3,600%. Obviously, the market is going to retrace. People are going to take profits, all those different things. But this market started to push or pump or whatever you want to call it without Bitcoin and ETH making a massive move, without full-on bull market. And I think that's what we'll see a lot more of in the next upcoming market cycle. Okay. So I do like this. I do like this on the 4-hour and the 1-hour. I am looking for potential position here now that price kind of had this huge break. And I'm just looking to play off this level here. So we'll see if we can get the bounce here. I like the risk to reward. And if Bitcoin, right, this is where you kind of bring it all together. If Bitcoin holds and Ethereum holds here, and we have a nice, remember, we have a weekly candle that just closed. We have a monthly candle that will close next week. Let's just delete everything here on Bitcoin, where if the market does hold this level here, we can continue. Now, if the market wants to start closing under 58, we could see this thing spike into the mid-50s. But I think we're going to hold. I am pretty confident, and I'll leave the video up here, that we do hold. Now, if it goes lower, I'm buying the dip, I'll tell you that. But I'm pretty confident we do hold something in here. I would be looking here for a potential push-up. So I do have that position on Injective. Now, what questions do you guys have in the chat? I know I've been kind of talking. Hopefully, this is helping somebody here today. We do have some very, very important things happening in the market. And I also got a DM this morning, or the same person actually. Why are you so confident in crypto? I love when people say stuff like that. Well, I'm not really that confident in banks because last year, the biggest banks in the US, they failed. The government also changed the definition of a recession. That was the low in the market. Um, and you just have the world right now buying so many lies. Do I have multiple bank accounts? Of course. Do I have some money in the bank? Of course. Do I leave everything in the banks? Why? No. Why? Like, why? Your money is just depreciating. Now, yes, the value of the dollar is going up. But guess what? We also have a presidential election coming up November 5th. And if you study history, not politics, but history, typically when there is a Republican, and I'm not going to go through the chart here today, I'll make a video on this. Let me know in the comments if you want me to make a video on this. But when there's a Republican president, the DXY, I'm just going to put the dollar, typically, historically, goes down. When there's a Democratic US president, dollar goes up. So what happens when the dollar goes down? Now, does that necessarily mean that if the dollar goes down, Bitcoin will go up? No. So get that out of your head as well. Now, the macro, of course, the dollar going down to the 90s, which I do think we will see this level here before a continuation of the upside. That will be very great for assets. It'll be really good for a lot of people. Okay. But you do need to understand history. And you do need to go back and study. And I'll make a video on this on my YouTube, maybe as we get closer to the election, or maybe even closer. I think there's a debate next week, so that should be funny. That should be interesting. Get your popcorn ready. Okay. So the dollar's going higher right now. So it would not surprise me if the dollar, let's say the dollar, let's just talk about it. Let's say the dollar comes up here and then President Trump wins. Does the dollar start to push back down? Let's say Biden wins or a Democratic president wins. Does the dollar just keep ripping to the upside and go back to what the highest point ever was, like 1984? Let's delete all this. Do we hold this level? My concern here is that we did wick into this level 2022. This was 01. This right here was 1985. Now, I do think in our lifetime, we do see the dollar get this high. Once again, that does not mean that Bitcoin will go to zero if that happens. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Okay, keep that in mind. But I do think in our lifetime, we will see the dollar come up here and come all the way back to 1984's candle, mitigate that, and then the decline will start from there, like the big decline. But where we're at today is a great point. You have so many different opportunities in crypto, so many different opportunities in stocks. I've been speaking really a lot about Bitcoin mining. You had last week or 2 weeks ago, a Bitcoin mining company, Riot, tried to actually purchase another Bitcoin mining company in America called Bitfarms. And they actually said no, which is okay. It's fine. So then what led to taking place is Riot purchasing 14% of Bitfarms' stock. And that shot up stock price. And now they're all kind of coming down because these stocks kind of move with the ebbs and flows of Bitcoin. So if they're doing well, if Bitcoin's doing well, usually they're doing well. Now, I do like this level on Riot. I'm definitely liking this level here in Riot. They have their earnings coming out August 19th. Last earnings report, they had a really bad earnings report. The one before that, pretty bad earnings report. One before that, pretty bad earnings report. Pretty bad. Pretty good. Pretty bad. Now, remember, the last one was, what was that? May 1st. So I think we're going to see a nice push there. Also on something like Mara, if Mara were to come back, Mara reported bad in May, but they did have a very, very good February and a very, very actually kind of like a whatever November. So I wouldn't be paying attention. Home run, Mets. I would be paying attention to those. So any questions in the chat, feel free to drop it. We're kind of just hanging out here tonight on a Sunday. Some of you guys asked me to to talk crypto, talk about life, talk about, what's going on. I think it's important right now that you're at an all-time high in your life where you're protecting your energy. You're being very careful of who you allow into your life, also who you let speak into your life, and you're protecting uh, your future energy as well. And they say one good year can change your life, right? Who's heard that before? One good financial year, one good year of eating right, one good year of in the gym, one good year. But also one bad moment can ruin your whole damn life. One bad decision can ruin your whole damn life. The good decisions, it's kind of crazy because the good decisions, it's like you kind of got to make a lot of them. It's like a lot of small good decisions. One really bad decision, like drinking and driving, and you kill somebody. Like, taking drugs, you could have a bad experience. There's all these different things, right? But one really bad decision, everything can go backwards for you. So for some questions, I'll answer them in the chat. Market is dropping. We did just have a nice daily candle close, a bearish candle. Like, this is not a confident market for me to be looking for leveraged buys on something like Solana that I love to trade. There was some shorting opportunities, like right here. This was a great shorting opportunity. I missed it. Some of my students caught it, but until we get more clarity, I'm not looking for buys at all. I will start looking for shorts, though, if this market does continue. Bitcoin's at 61, 60, 63.1, excuse me. Ripple had a break. Ripple needs to hold here. Maybe we get the push tomorrow. Injective is probably my favorite idea, and this is what I'm looking for. Good risk to reward. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. If you have poor performing crypto and okay ones, what is the best strategies you are employing? Yeah, you can do some reallocation, but you want to do that in a bull market. You don't really want to be doing that in a bear market, So if you're in a bull market, you can get away with, buying right now. It goes lower, buying a little bit more. If it goes lower, it goes lower a little bit more. You can buy some more, right? But in a bear market, you'll get wrecked. So I would be patient. I wouldn't be trying to like reallocate on big pushes down because the market is all, I mean, not the whole market. Some of these projects are actually holding nicely, or they're just kind of sitting there. So I wouldn't be reallocating right now. I don't think that's a smart plan. I think we should be holding, like even like render. So like render kind of had a push out of this level, but like even something like this is not a confident chart right now. So if you don't have any render and you try to buy some right now, that's fine. But like even like render, this thing could easily come back to $3-4. Fill this wick, and we get some movement like that. So I wouldn't try to reallocate. I would be looking to only scale into my portfolio and also putting things set aside. And then last but not least, is my opinion is I would learn how to trade. That's where you can take smaller amounts of money and grow it and then buy assets. So, I think that side is amazing. Crypto's 24/7. Trading's not difficult, but it's the same rules apply. Risk to reward, what's your trading plan, just all of those things. So, I've been in this trade for like a day now. Probably be the only trade I take. I already hit my goal for this month, but on my main account. But Mainly, I'll probably just take this probably for the next this week. It'll probably be my I might take one more trade this month. Um, and I just kind of know where I'm at in the market. If this market does flush and I do lose, I've already calculated that if I lose this trade, I'm still profitable for the month. It's okay, right? It's like, playing with house money, essentially. You just don't want to get into a habit of just buying every day. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with buying every day. Unless it's in a specific zone that you've been waiting for. Like when Chainlink was around $5 and I was telling people to buy it. Yeah, I was buying not every day, but every week, every other week, this zone. Because I knew 5-6 wasn't going to last. And then the market breaks out, and then now you look like a superhero, right? Oh my God, you were right. Well, guess what? I was also being questioned for 500 days. So while you're questioning yourself for 500 days over a year and a half, do you have the depth of vision in that season of left to right to be patient enough to wait for the breakout? And a lot of people don't, which is why the market does have to retrace. Okay, why the market can't just go straight up, everybody. It's got to drop, it's got to pull back, it's got to have emotion. So it's summer. Enjoy your time. Be safe. If you guys are taking any vacations, travel safe. Hope you guys have a great summer. Summer is just starting. I know it's like I'm not in school anymore, but I know kids are out. If you have kids, they're not really going to school anymore because it's summer. If you're a parent, you're probably doing a bunch of stuff with them. So be safe with whatever you're doing, but don't get distracted. Summer is such an easy time to get distracted. Trust me, I'm having fun. I'm living my life. I encourage you to live your life as well. It could all be gone tomorrow. Um, but it's also what's the probability of that, you know? We all have an expiration date, but we also have opportunity every day. Every day we have opportunity to do something bigger than ourselves. And trading is not the only thing, but trading is and investing is an incredible way to just beat inflation. But you gotta have a plan, and you gotta be okay with market correcting itself, and you have to be okay with these like this thing could flush right now into $100 and just liquidate everybody who's trying to buy. Okay, there's a website here, coinglass.com. Let's take a look at this real quick before we leave. What do we have here? 62 billion in open interest positions. This is interesting. 86 million in liquidations. It's actually not a lot of money. But you can see here on majority of these platforms, over the past 24 hours, all these platforms, people are longing majority of their trades. So the market knows that. The market's going to go take their money and then it'll get put into somewhere else. Remember, money doesn't just disappear. Money's always moving. It doesn't just go away. It's always moving. Okay, guys, with that being said, if you don't have my free ebook, for example, you go to defiebook.com. I'll put the link in the chat real quick. And this is a great starting point. If you are new to crypto, highly recommend reading this. And if we are not connected on Instagram, you can just reach out to me. Instagram is DeFi Mike Sotero. I'll never ask you for money. The link to the ebook is also in my bio. And I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Much love. See you guys on the next stream. And be sure to check out other videos on this channel. And do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next